The Jacksonville Jaguars, a team I am high on this year, which, hey, has burned me in the past, to be admittedly honest. I have been burned by the Jaguars saying, oh, they're going to be good, and they just kind of suck sometimes. But this year I have confidence. Why? I love the head coach they brought in. I love the offense he's going to have for Trevor Lawrence. I love the changes they made for the wide receiver room. I love the changes they made for defense. I think the offensive line is better. But how far do I have the Jaguars going, and where exactly do I see them finishing in their division? Well, let's jump in that today as I preview the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's important to talk about their offseason, and they made some really good, solid moves. Now, they lost Evan Ingram, and that's not a real loss, I'm sure most Jags fans know, because he doesn't fit Liam Cohen's offense at all. Cohen likes a bit more of a run-blocking tight end, a guy who can be more serviceable in the run game, and Evan Ingram is just not that. But they brought in guys like Patrick McCarry, who was in the Baltimore Ravens, and what do the Ravens do phenomenally well? They run the football, something Liam Cohen very much wants to have with this Jaguars team. So they're going to have a big emphasis on running the ball better. They also brought in Robert Hainsey, who is a good, solid center. Then they signed Jordan Lewis to be a cornerback for them. A good, solid cornerback. Nothing real splashy, but just really good, solid moves to help build the team up. Now, I'm going to throw in the coaching here in the video. Sometimes I wait till after the draft class, but for here, it was their biggest offseason move the Jaguars made, in my opinion, outside of the draft, so I think it's important to talk about it here. Liam Cohen, to me, was a guy I was really high on and thought would do really well as a head coach. He, in fact, was my number one head coaching candidate, just because I thought he did extremely well with not an elite-level quarterback. Liam Cohen succeeded Dave Canales' run philosophy, which worked out great for the Buccaneers because it opened up Baker Mayfield to attack downfield. And if you ask me, who do I think is a better quarterback? I'd say Trevor Lawrence over Baker Mayfield. And I know a lot of people wouldn't consider that because Lawrence has struggled, but I'd also go to the fact Trevor Lawrence has not had a good head coach since he's entered the league. Mayfield has had 4 coaches that understand the offense side of the ball extremely well and are just better than Peterson and Urban Meyer. And you look at that, I can't help but think Liam Cohen's going to unlock Trevor Lawrence because they're going to use the run game, they're going to use play action, and that's going to free up BTJ downfield. That's going to free up their rookie, Travis Hunter, who we'll discuss about here in a second, downfield as well. The Jaguars are going to be a more versatile offense because they just have more talent that they haven't had in a while. When was the last time a Jacksonville Jaguar wide receiver scared you? Justin Blackmon? And that's been how long? They now have one really good young guy in Brian Thomas Jr. and one rookie that we all expect to be really good as well. They have the weapons. They have a better offense philosophy. They have a better O-line. I think Liam Cohen's done a great job flipping this Jaguars roster over from a year ago, and I expect very good things. Talk about the Jaguars draft class, and we have to start out with Travis Hunter in the massive trade-up it took for them to get him. They gave up a lot, including a first-round pick in 2026 and a lot of second-rounders. But I'm okay with the aggressive move, even though Travis Hunter wasn't a top 5 player for me in the draft. No, that's a little crazy, but here's my reasoning why. I want him to pick a certain side of the football because I felt like he would excel better picking one side. With him doing duo, I think it's extremely versatile, it's extremely helpful, but I wonder how much that hinders his ceiling. And the Jaguars are going to try and do both, and I don't know how that's going to work out. I have my reservations. If he pulls it off, it's insane value for a player, but even if he just picks one side, and I'd prefer the defense side because, my God, is he a phenomenal cornerback that can do everything and track the ball in the air and get you turnovers. I know a lot of people would favor wide receiver because fun offense, but you have a lockdown cornerback like that can get you turnovers, your defense is in a really good spot. But he will do both. And it's going to be very interesting to see how they utilize him. If he will take less snaps on one side of the ball, if he's going to have to be heavily featured during a series, does he get the next series off for the other side of the ball? What exactly do they do? And it's a very fascinating thought process that we haven't seen in the NFL. We've really only seen it in one sport, and that's baseball, Shohei Ohtani, who even when he does pitch, he DHs. And he even did that when he was with the Angels. He started out right field, had injuries, went to DHing. That's just my concern right now with Travis Hunter is, are we putting too much pressure on his body? He did it in college football. Yes, I get it. But doing the NFL is a whole different level. It's a bigger playbook. It's more physicality. It's just harder. It's going to be very interesting to see how he adapts to it. The next pick I want to talk about, and I usually cover the first 2 picks, but with the Jaguars, I had to take their 3rd pick, and that's Wyatt Millam. Wyatt was a guy I loved the entire process. I wanted my team to select him because I was like, this dude's going to be a monster guard. He's going to block for the run game. He's going to road grade people. And the Jaguars took him, and I'm like, that's such a Liam Cohen pick. That makes so much sense. He's going to do so great there. And then they followed up with taking Tootin from Virginia Tech, who is a very Liam Cohen-coded running back. Fast, explosive, had some good contact balance. Reminds you a lot of Bucky Irvine, although I don't know if he'll have as immediate success as Bucky did with the Bucs. But it's a very good player archetype to see with Tootin to Bucky Irvine for how Liam Cohen will use him in the offense. Quint Allen, I liked from Syracuse. I didn't watch a whole bunch of him, but when I watched Syracuse games, I was always very impressed with him. It was just such a deep running back class. I never got to him. Jack Kaiser from Notre Dame, talented guy. I'm curious to see how they use him, if they're going to put him down as a downhill linebacker or if they're going to drop him back in coverage. I think he can do both. I don't think he's exceptionally well at anything, but I think he's a solid player overall and has some special teams versatility. Now for me to pick the biggest strength of the Jaguars this year, I think it's actually different than you look at the team as a whole. I think you can look at a position group and be like, oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. But I'm going to switch it to, they have an identity. With Urban Meyer, there was no identity. With Doug Peterson, there was no identity. With Liam Cohen, there is a clear identity. They're going to run the ball down teams' throats. They're going to use play action to help Trevor Lawrence analyze the defense, get deep shots over the top of Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter. They have an idea of what they are, and that's very key for building out a roster for not just this year, but for the future as well. Something the Jaguars have greatly missed during those prior 2 coaches' tenures. And, I mean, if we're going to be honest, probably the biggest strength and biggest move they made in the offseason was getting rid of Trent Baalke, who I think as much as it annoyed non-Jaguars fans, Jaguars fans were beyond annoyed with him with his roster construction. That doesn't seem to be an issue anymore with the Jaguars, and it's a very good sign for the future. Now, looking at the weaknesses, their defense is still really raw. It needs a lot of pieces still to come in place. It's going to be a work in progress, which is fine. And I overall just don't really hate their defense. I think they got talent, but like their secondary, it's not elite or any stretches close to it. Their line is questionable. The one thing I'm really solid on with them is pass rushers. Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker can apply very good pressure, get the quarterback under duress, forcing incompletions, which I think is going to be very key for the Jaguars having success on the defensive side of the football this year. But the other position on defense, I'm just not there yet, which is fine. They were a bad team last year. They're going to need to take a little time to work out all the kinks in the roster. But I think they made a giant leap this past offseason. And entering this season, I think they're a much better team. Where do I have the Jaguars finish in their division? I think it's either first or second, and I lean towards first the more and more I think about it, because I just love this team's philosophy. I love their coaching staff with what they're going to do. And I think they're going to be able to take it to every single team. The only other team I see that's going to give them a big-time problem in the AFC South, and it's why I say first or second, because I can easily see the other team taking first, would be the Houston Texans. And now, why would I have the Jaguars slightly favored? I think their pass rushing unit can give the Texans a lot of problems with an O-line I very much question. The Jaguars, I just love a whole bunch. I think Trevor Lawrence finally shows up this year because his coaching is just so much better than he's had in his prior NFL seasons. The offensive line is better. The running back room is looking really good. The receivers are really good. The defense, like I said, there are some concerns I have for there, but the pass rushing unit should be really good as well. This team's just better overall as a whole, and I think we saw a lot of issues last year pop up, mainly because Doug Peterson's not all that great, and when the ship went going downhill, he didn't know how to fix it. He didn't know how to steer it out. And the Jaguars now have a clear goal. They have a clear philosophy, and I think we're very much going to see a lot of Jaguars football this year in primetime football later down the stretch because they will be competing for that AFC South title. I do think they make the playoffs, and I do think they're going to be a hard team to get out, but they're not ready for that Super Bowl contention yet because there are still pieces that are missing on this team to get into that realm yet. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you could share this, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm doing 32 in 32 days, 32 team previews every single day until I'm done. If you want to check out some division rivals, Jaguars fans, the past 2 uploads before this have been the Texans and Colts. Titans are coming later on. This is alphabetical order. I hope you all enjoyed this, and thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.